I'm live. I'm here. Finally. Hello, Blaze. Thank you for joining me this early. I've been a busy boy with my game. My game is finally at a stage where I feel comfortable testing it. If you're up for it, Blaze, just let me know. But you need to have a PC. There's no Mac or mobile version yet. Let's see. So what I've been doing, if I can enter here. Come on, come on. Bug report? Nah. Come on. Really? Oh well. Oh well. Just gonna sit here and twiddle my thumbs for a bit, I guess. There we go. And let's go into multiplayer. There are still quite a few bugs. And the game is far from finished, mind you. Like we don't have any real gameplay yet, but I've gotten the bare bones to work. It is held together with scotch tape, maybe some duct tape at best in some places. But it is held together, and that's the important part. That's how you know you're a game dev. As long as it works, I do not care. Or a programmer in general. Oop. Okay, I have 4 connected players. I can start the game. If we can hide the console, no. Can turn that smaller. We can turn this smaller. We can turn this smaller. Okay, so I have 4 players. In the end, the players aren't supposed to be able to see each other. That's it. It's still early on. But we do have movement, which I can bank. And as I'm banking the movement, I can scan the area to see where are the enemies. That's pretty neat, in my opinion. They all have their different colors. And then this one can scan the areas. And only one of them will be moving. Oh, there it is. It's moving. It stopped moving. It overheated. Let's make this one move. And let's see if we can't detect it. Oh, it's the teal one? Is that teal? The baby blue? The something? And now that's overheating, of course. The longer you keep, the more cranked this gauge gets, the faster the temperature rises in the generator. And if you notice, it's creeping up too fast or too far up, you can speed down the process of eliminating it, so you don't have to time it really. I think I want to be able to keep the W just pressed, so you don't have to do as many clicks. But I'm not there yet. It's not an important feature. It would just be a nice life of quality of life thing, you know. That's kind of it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything there is to the game at the moment. We're gonna have, so this health bar is gonna be removed. It's an old feature. I'm gonna do health more like this, not this at all. But we're also gonna have abilities. So you can fire missiles, you can place mines, but you have to manually detonate it, you know? That's the important part. You have to manually detonate it. We're going to have a sonar, which means you will see these dots. Or maybe you don't have to manually. That's a. Actually, instead of manually detonating the mines, the missiles are absolutely going to be manually detonated. But the mines, maybe we can do a. It's an idea. Maybe we can do like you place the mine, and depending on how much energy you use on that mine, the radius will grow. So if you don't use any energy, it will just be whenever someone, including yourself, crosses that dot. But if you dispense more energy, maybe it's the adjacent squares. And if you disperse even more energy, maybe it's 3 spaces or 2 spaces away, you know? Maybe something like that. We'll see. Maybe there can be different types of mines. So you can have a targeted mine of some sort, which does a lot of damage if you're closer by, or if you which only does damage when you cross it, but it's a cheaper mine to produce. Maybe that's it. And then you can have a larger mine, like a nuclear mine or something, which takes more energy to produce. And then you have like an EMP mine or something, which is the 3 squares area, where if you get hit by it, your generator overheats. That's kind of a neat idea, I think. Maybe that's the road to go. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be a trial and error type of thing. But that's where we are. We're also implemented an exit, so I can exit. Now this can fuck up for other players. If you're the host of the game, the other players will be deleted, and the game will keep going. You're just gonna have to exit manually yourself. But we're working on it. Okay, that's enough game dev. I am. Oh my god. Do I want to do anything from this? I always save for the stream. Okay, we can do this one actually. I always save a lot of things for the stream, but I never really want to watch them because it's just clicks. It's just if I okay, let's do this. See what it is. Why did it? Okay. I'm guessing this has to do with the Mario movie. Right-wing commentator Anna Perez is genuinely outraged that Princess Peach in the new Super Mario Bros. Movie is not portrayed as a helpless princess. Young women see stuff like this, and it just brainwashes them to be feminists. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. How awful. Awful. Women, the biggest turnoff, I think, of them all, like that I've ever experienced, is probably learned helplessness. It is the worst thing ever. Like women, can you do this for me? I don't know, but they actually do know, but they just refuse to. Like I had this girl in school. Oh my God, look at the hair. I had a classmate. I need a haircut so fucking bad. I had a classmate in English class, and we were learning do, does, and did. Do, does, did. And if it's past tense, it's always did, no matter what. There's no exceptions. It always did, period. So my teacher says, he gives a sentence. Anna blank, whatever. I don't remember exactly. But he points at her and he asks, do, does, or did? And she goes, do. And he goes, that's wrong. Try again. She goes, does. And he goes, no, try again. She goes, I don't know. There's only one more option. Just say the third option. That's all you have to do. There's only one more option. Just say it. He goes, come on, you know the answer. Because she knows the answer. It's do, does, or did. We've been doing this for weeks at that point. To my detriment, because I already knew everything. Honest to God. I learned more English from games and movies and music than I ever did in class. Yes, in class I learned more formal stuff, like grammar rules and stuff like that. But I didn't learn English. I learned how to spell probably, but I didn't learn English. So I've always had an intuitive sense. Like if it's in your native language, you always have an intuitive sense of which word it should be. You can hear when it's wrong. Maybe you can't say why it should be that word or something, like A or N. A melon, unmelon. Okay, it's a melon, of course. Stuff like that. And I just have an intuitive sense of that. My teacher told me, no, you're not a native speaker, so you can't have an intuitive sense. Bitch. Bitch. Are you? He's probably dead by now, by the way. But bitch, are you for real? Holy shit. But yeah, no, she that's the biggest turnoff I've ever. And I'm not saying that she was. I'm not saying when she did this, she may be turned off. I'm saying that as an example of the biggest turnoff that I've ever experienced in my life. Like whenever a girl does stuff like that, it's horrible, absolutely horrible. Why does it do that? I hate Twitter so much. Okay, we just listened to the woke. God damn it! I removed the pin. Okay, or the bookmark. We just listened to her express why the Mario movie isn't woke, or is woke. Let's listen to Steven Crowder. Oh my god, and I haven't had... God damn it. And I removed the bookmark. I hate this. I hate this so much. Fuck. Okay, let's I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix her. I just need to go here. And I need to go there. Right Wing Watch, April 6th. Right Wing Watch. Is it Anna Botes? Is that the name? Anna Perez. Not Perez. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. And we're going to go to bookmarks. And we're going to go here. When did the Super Mario Bros. Movie? April 5th. So the day after the Super Mario Bros. Movie got released, this tweet came out from Right Wing Watch, and I'm guessing this is from the day earlier. So on the day of the premiere, Anna Perez said these things.
Now you might be thinking, Anna, who cares? It's just some dumb movie, but you should care, and here's why. Because what they are doing is they're trying to brainwash society to think that that's how women are supposed to be. And this is dangerous because then we have women who go out there who think they're men and they wind up getting hurt. They wind up getting raped. They wind up getting... Because this is... Who's going to consume this content? Well, young kids, right? It's a cartoon. Adults, unless you're a loser, you're probably not going to want to watch that, right? So, unless you're watching it with your kids. But the reality is, this has actual ramifications on society. Young women see stuff like this, and it just brainwashes them to be a feminist, to be a badass feminist, and it's not realistic. Women are not as strong as men. Women aren't the ones who are going to go out there and be like, watch this, let me kick ass. This like badass bitch culture is actually ruining women, and it's ruining society, and nobody knows where they stand anymore. So actually, it has real consequences. I'm sick and tired of seeing unrealistic things like that. Please make her a helpless princess again, okay? That's a lot more fitting for Princess Peach. Sorry, someone had to say it.
Please make her a helpless bitch again, okay? Please, just don't give me any compelling, strong female characters. Those things are completely unrealistic. Why am I searching for alien Sigourney Weaver? Why are they doing women as strong characters? I hate it. The alien should just have ripped her apart from the start, okay? Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, here's what Steven Crowder has to say after the movie makes bank.
Mario Brothers just set a global opening weekend record for animated films.
Nice.
$377 million on a $100 million budget. Nice. And let's, I think, we have a clip actually from the film.
I got this.
Oh my God, I can't watch this. Yeah, he's a bumbling buffoon.
By Top Gun did why Top Gun did so well.
Yeah.
And they're not even right wing. They're just leave people alone and let them have a fantasy. That's why I can't watch anything on Netflix now. It's all brainwashing. Everybody knows that, but
Hello,
that's
Alex
my
Jones.
question. Why is Anheuser-Busch committing suicide? Why did Hollywood commit suicide? Why is the left doing this? Why are they like kamikaze?
Mario Brothers.
Okay, that's not the. Anyway, Crowder goes on to say, "Hey, this isn't woke. It's actually anti-woke." What the fuck was that? There it is again. Okay, do I have a shining spot on me? Oh, okay, that's weird. It's actually anti-woke because it made bank. I don't know. Okay. Apparently, representative movies can't make bank, according to right-wingers. That's an interesting take to make. That is a very interesting take to make. If that was the case, then Hollywood would stop doing woke movies. Period. They don't care about that shit. They care about the money. It's all about the Benjamins, my friend. It's all about the Benjamins. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. Hollywood cares about one thing and one thing only: their own bottom line. That's all. That's it. Anyway, I like I said, I always save clips or I always save tweets that I'm like, oh, this could be fun to make a segment about. And then I'm here streaming, trying to make segments. Anna doesn't know. No, Anna does not know the lore. Not at all. Not even close to the lore. Super Mario Bros. 2, I play the shit out of that game. I played more Super Mario Bros. 1 and 3 because we own those. But my cousins own the second one. And we usually swapped games with each other. So I played the shit out of the second one as well. But the third one, that's my jam. That is my jam. No, they don't, do they? Maybe actually. Oh, that could be fun. Should I do a game stream where I play the Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3? No, Crowder has not seen the movie, and it wouldn't matter if he did see the movie. He would have the same take anyway. He would still claim it's anti-woke for some reason. He'd find a justification and go with that. That's undisputed. He is, at the end of the day, nothing more than a mouthpiece. He spews right-wing propaganda, period. And if he can claim something as right-wing because it's successful, then he's going to claim that something as right-wing because it's successful. I mean, for fuck's sake, they're claiming 1984. They're claiming Orwell as right-wing. Maybe not Crowder specifically, but the right have. Yeah, go woke, go broke, sure. Yeah. And again, if that was true, the machine would stop producing a woke material. But woke means whatever they want it to mean. That's the sauce. That's the secret. Okay, we can do this one. Lauren Boebert. This is the most... Whoever came up with this idea didn't get paid enough by the Republican elite, okay?
So maybe one of the things that we need to address with the Democrat parties, you played a clip from the teachers union with Randy there talking. Maybe one thing we need to address is we're not a democracy. So
Yes,
with
that's
that,
correct.
maybe
Yes, that's
maybe
right.
that's where you're getting it wrong. Is saying that we are a democracy. We are a constitutional republic, and that is something that needs to be taught in our schools. Not this woke critical race theory on how to hate our country and hate your fellow classmates and community members because of the color of their skin. So maybe one of the things that we need.
So, wait. I mean, I'm not counting the later games. I'm an OG Nintendo 8-bit player. Okay, that's where I never had a SNES. I had a Game Boy, and I played Game Boy's with Super Mario World. I played the shit out of that game as well. I cleared it multiple times. But I never had any other Nintendo products, I don't believe. I think those are the two I had. Game Watches I had. I think that's a Nintendo product. An early Nintendo product. Oh my god. I wonder if we still have them. I hope so. I hope mom and dad hasn't removed them. But no, I've never been a Smash player because I never had the console for it. I've been a PC player since early 2000s, I believe. It's been PC. Xbox was the last console that I purchased. But that was before PC gaming was as good as console gaming. But yeah, I've been a PC player since the early 2000s. So yeah, I've never been a Smash player or anything like that. Anyway, back to the Bobert clip, Blaze. There is absolutely nothing that makes. There's absolutely nothing that precludes you from being a constitutional republic and a democracy. Those two are not mutually exclusive. A constitutional republic means you elect the person who sits in the highest office. The constitutional part of that means you have certain rights. The people have certain rights that the government cannot infringe upon. That is all. How you elect your leaders is where democracy comes in. Now, I would agree with Bobert that the US is not a democracy. It's not a democracy that I would recognize, at least. But it has the potential to be a democracy. It was supposed to be a democracy. But the fucking slavers demanded it not be a democracy. Because in a democracy, one person, one vote. Period. It's not period, really. There are edges that you can round off. But in general, in broad terms, one person, one vote. But the slavers, they were scared. They didn't want and when I say slavers, I mean the South. After the Civil War, they said, you New Yorkers and coastal elites, we're scared that you all gonna rule over us. So we want more representation. That's why we have the Senate. Or when I say we, I mean America. That's why America has a Senate. Still. Slavers didn't want to be left in the dust. Seriously. Race. Sectional disputes dominated debate during the period between the Missouri Compromise of 1820 and the Compromise of 1850, and brought to the chamber a group of talented legislators and powerful orators. In the Senate, where the Constitution established an equality of states, there existed a delicate balance between North and South, slave and free states. For many years, senators crafted legislation designed to resolve sectional conflicts and avoid secession and civil war. In the 1850s, however, further efforts at compromise failed. The Senate endured a violent and turbulent decade that propelled the nation to the brink of war. The rapid expansion of the nation as settlers moved west and new territories applied for statehood repeatedly raised the issue of slavery. The Constitution allowed slavery to exist in the states, but left Congress to decide its status in the territories. The northern states, having abolished slavery, sought to prevent its spread, while the southern states, having grown more dependent on slave labor, asserted the rights of southerners to transport their way of life into the new territories. In 1820, the Missouri Compromise drew a line across the nation at the 36th parallel, above which slavery would be prohibited, and below which it could expand. When the war with Mexico from 1846 and 1848 resulted in vast new territories in the South, the debate over expansion of slavery was renewed. Secession, blah, blah, blah. On February 18, Davis became President of the Confederate States of America. During the months during Lincoln's election and his inauguration, many members of Congress clung to the hope of reconciliation. Kentucky Senator John J. Crittenden led a last-ditch effort at compromise, proposing to extend to the Pacific Ocean the line established by the 1820 Missouri Compromise. The proposal failed. Senator Charles Sumner dismissed. Blah 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 blah. Where is it? Anyway, Carolinas. Oh. Point is, it has been fought over. If there was no Senate anymore, there would be statehood. By all accounts of my understanding of how Congress works in general, there would be statehood for DC and Puerto Rico, like that. But at the moment, the only way for them to gain statehood is for conservatives to gain a state themselves. It is, at the moment, the system is made to create a status quo. And the status quo is killing America. It is killing it. There can be no progress at the moment within America without radical change. Radical change. Fortunately, we saw some change happening in recently with the election of the new judge. Thank fucking God for that. Let's hope they can keep it up, though. Before I actually go on and do some actual segments, I just want to briefly mention this. The Christian Nationalist Bible, is that... What is that? I've never heard of that before. However, this is interesting. The case for Christian nationalism. They are no longer hiding anything. I can't wait to see Dave Rubin and the Steven Crowder and whoever else review this book. That's going to be interesting. I can't wait to get my hands on it myself. I actually want to read that book. I want to know what's in it. So apparently the announcement came from Yianopolis. KJV Bible. King James Bible, okay. Oh, okay. So she's just rebranding the King James Bible for the Christian Nationalist Bible, I'm guessing. There's already a book with that title. That's interesting. This is Fuentes' position, by the way. I don't care. I know his position. Okay, let's actually stop this. Get me out of here. We're gonna do some pin. There we go.
There's this guy Chris.
Shut up. Mr. Beast, his good friend, his childhood friend, Chris Tyler, recently came out as trans. It has been talked about endlessly for a week now, I think. I think it's been a week at this point, if not more, that people have just been relentlessly talking about Chris Tyler to the point that he has been bullied off Twitter, it seems. Chris Tyler. Chris Taylor. Is that his name? Chris Taylor. No, that's a baseball player. Chris Tyler, Mr. Beast. No, it's Chris Taylor. Oh my God, just give me... Is he just at Chris? Oh my God. Lucky bastard. I'm not going to scroll too much here because he has locked his account. He was getting so much hate from right-wingers being fucking morons because he decided to be happy. It has grown to such an extent now, or it has gotten so much momentum now, that the Daily Wire's own Michael Knowles has decided to chime in. Why don't we listen and see what he has to say? But at some point, there's going to be... This graph is going to be forever lodged in our brains. Our collective brains is going to remember this graph, so I don't have to bring it up every time he mentions stats, okay?
There's this guy Chris on Mr. Beast's YouTube channel. Mr. Beast, biggest YouTube channel. And this guy Chris is married with a kid, and Chris has just decided that he's a woman now, which I imagine was not a pleasant thing for his wife to hear.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. Okay, we're going to have to actually have this up. I'm not going to free scroll just because I want to respect him being locked. But I'm gonna find. I'm gonna find it. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Here is his declaration of transness. Someone asked, bro, what the fuck happened? Because he's obviously changed his appearance quite a lot. And Chris responds, HRT, and it's only been 2 months. That is it. He didn't say, I'm a woman now. He didn't say anything of that sort. He just declared HRT, and it's only been 2 months. He's trans. He doesn't have to be a woman because he's trans. Is this a story about victim blaming? This? I mean, who's the victim here?
A very cruel thing to do to his son, puts Mr. Beast in a terrible position because Mr. Beast tries to remain apolitical, but now his sidekick is taking on the most controversial issue in all of politics right now. And what is Mr. Beast going to do? As of now, Mr. Beast is defending.
It is only controversial because the right decided to make it controversial. That is all it is. Yes, Mr. Beast is walking a tightrope between in his content to not be political, period. But he's also not political. We can just go to Mr. Beast here, and there are plenty.
We're gonna play.
Shut up. There are plenty of political videos here. First of all, a lot of his videos centers around money. Money is a political issue. Secondly, we have where is it? This one, 1,000 Blind People See for the First Time. That is a political video. He never says anything. He never declares an official statement in anything. However, the act of having to pay for fixing someone's eyesight so that they can go back and be a productive member of society, having to pay out for that is a political act. Inadvertently. We also have I Got Haunted by the FBI, trying to humanize the FBI, pretty much. That's a political statement. We have... but it's not overtly political. I'll give him that. It is not overtly political. But we also have... There's a prison... Prison? There. I served 50 hours in a maximum security prison. I spent 24 hours straight in prison. They're like, this is political. Whether or not he admits it. And now, because his friend admitted to taking HRT, he has, which again is an equally political statement as anything else that Mr. Beast has done. The right has declared that Chris must go.
His friend and employee, and he's attacking the transphobes. That is probably not a good winning path in the long run.
Oh, yes, it is.
Because there are a lot of transphobes. If by transphobes we mean people who just rationally understand that men and women are different and men can't become women. If you start attacking the transphobes, I don't think that's going to be great for your 100+ million view videos. But back to Chris. I mentioned on the show, I don't really care about...
I'm guessing Mr. Beast's audience is mostly young people. Gen Z, LGBTQ acceptance. It shouldn't be a tightrope, but it is a tightrope. He's walking... His goal has always been to be the biggest, and to be the biggest, you have to appeal to both sides. At least in the beginning, you have to make your politics, not a sideshow, you know? This is not a... One in 5 adult members of Gen Z self-identifies as LGBTQ. Here is... They're showing the ref there. Can I show? Here it is. Like, this is a massive audience. 30% of people. That's a massive audience already. This is just who identifies as it, though. Acceptance among Gen Z, that's going to be higher. And in my last stream, I actually missed something. Why are there so few people who are of the traditionalists or the silent generation or baby boomers who do not identify? Why are there so few people identifying as LGBT there? What happened in the 80s to people who were gay? What happened to Freddie Mercury? Princess Diana did something.
But I asked the question, how does a guy wake up at the age of 26 with a wife and a child and decide that he's a woman? And I suggested that the aspect of this whole transgender phenomenon that people are not really talking about is porn. That porn is driving a lot of this.
Hey, oh my God, I think I'm trans. Of course not. He's probably always had it in his that being comfortable with who he is. And at the age of 26, as he himself has declared on Twitter, he started to take his mental health serious. Probably in no small part because he has a fucking kid and he wants to be the best parent he can be for that kid. And in doing so, he inadvertently realized, you know what? I'm probably not male. He already came to terms with being bisexual in his teens. So Mr. Beast is familiar with all of this. They are friends. They've talked about this. This is nothing new to him. But apparently it's going to be a nightmare for Mr. Beast for some reason. But the porn, that's the issue. That's where everything went wrong. The porn.
I even...
Oh, I have to show this graph. Porn versus sexual assault. Graph. Is that enough? Yeah. Here's quite a correlation if I ever saw one. The rate of pornographic titles, and this just goes to 2005. But there's a direct correlation between the amount of pornography out there and a decrease in sexual assault. I wonder if this isn't just a correlation, but a causation. It is hard to tell.
Had that thought because I was speaking to a reporter who had done a little bit of a deep dive onto all that kind of weird porn. I'm not saying this reporter was sort of prowling late at night on the secret browser tab or anything like that.
He's talking about himself.
She had gone down.
Oh, desktop audio is really loud.
This rabbit hole of a specific type of porn that men who have rapid onset gender confusion attribute their confusion to this. I started watching this porn, which is kind of a hypnosis, and then what do you know? I can't get it out of my head, and it's melted my brain, and now I think that I'm a woman. So Ali Stuckey.
What is this conspiracy theory? A form of hypnosis? Okay, I'll give Knowles one thing. That yes, porn can be a catalyst, probably. But it's probably not through hypnosis. If I start watching trans porn, I don't have any interest in it. But if I start, I've probably watched some trans porn. I don't know. It is inevitable that you stumble upon a passing woman, and you just don't realize that they're trans. You know, it is possible, but I'm not watching pre-op trans people, at least. I have no interest in dicks, period. Anyway, that's not the point. We're not here to discuss my porn habits. My point is, if you do have that interest and you've been struggling with your own identity, I can see that awakening something in you, you know? Like it can plant an idea in your mind. But it's not hypnotizing you, my friend. It is not hypnotizing anyone. It's not magical. It's just porn. I imagine the same effect can be had of watching any media that just contains trans people. Period. Now, they're going to claim that, oh my God, that's the social contagion. No. That's the social acceptance. And that's the thing.
Our great friend Alex Stuckey dug up an old tweet from this guy Chris on the Mr. Beast show. And she said, in a tweet that he just deleted, Chris from Mr. Beast, who recently announced he's transitioning to a woman, says he likes...
This is why he locked his account. Because people were going through his old tweets. Here's the thing. If he wasn't trans, they would never care about this. It's an obvious fucking joke.
Loli, which is Loli, which is a form of anime porn in which the female characters are depicted as children or even babies. Man.
Oh, trans porn is popular in the most conservative areas. Probably because people in those areas are struggling with their identity. Like, if you live in a liberal area where people accept you if you're trans, you won't have to seek out trans content as much because you're already accepted. That is my hypothesis.
Many, many such cases among trans men. I don't know what this guy Chris meant by that comment, where
it's a joke.
Made this whole
you know
comment
it's a
about
joke.
How much he lusted after this genre of pornography. I'm not saying it means that he's a pedo. I'm not saying it wasn't even just a joke on Twitter. But what is undeniable?
Oh, how grateful. After the right wing has declared him a pedo, you're going, oh, I'm not saying he's a pedo. I'm not saying it, but I'm not saying he's a pedo. It might have been a joke, but I'm not saying he's a pedo. Fuck you, Knowles.
Undeniable from this is that this guy Chris knows a lot about porn.
Okay. Okay. Oh my God, this face. Sure. Yeah, he knows about porn. And like here is a badge of fucking honor that I happily wear. I've never seen 2 girls, 1 cup. I've never seen it. And when it came out, when it became this massive shit, pun intended, I was 15 years old. You know what I said? I don't have any interest in it. But I know what it's called. It's called scat. You seem to know a very, very much about porn, Mr. Hugin. You seem to be very well versed in porn. That's strange. Like the insinuation of this. I don't watch anime. I don't watch hentai. I don't watch furry porn either. I know what a lolly is. It's an internet thing. Fuck you, Knowles, for being such fucking boomer brain. Aren't we the same age? Michael Knowles. Oh my, he's younger than me. Fuck this guy. Fuck him for being younger than me. But seriously, he's younger than me and he knows nothing about internet, or he probably hides his power levels here, but he pretends to know nothing about internet culture in general. Yeah, Blaze, do you know why they're banning trans and anything related to LGBTQ things? It's the same reason why whenever you hear a anti-gay priest, you can bet your bottom dollar that dude will come out as gay at some point. He will have sucked cock from his home to his church every fucking Sunday. Like, he'll knock the door. Do you want your cock sucked? He'll go over to the next door. Do you want your cock sucked? Oh, I'll set up a booth over there. You can just stick your dick in the hole, and hey, it's all good. You can pretend I'm a woman. Okay, I'm happy to oblige. That's like, it's the same reason why that always happens. It's that they're scared. They've been brainwashed. They've been indoctrinated from a very, very, very young age that being gay is a sin. Having the thoughts will make you go to hell. So instead of saying, I don't think this religion thing is for me, keep it. Instead of going that way, they go the complete fucking opposite. And they say, oh, we can't have the temptation of it even. Like, that's it. They are tempted by gay porn. By the sight of a trans person, they are tempted to think, am I trans? Do you know what I think when I see a trans person? Okay. I think nothing. I go about my merry day without concerns for my personal identity because I don't struggle with my identity. I am fortunate enough to never having experienced that. But if you're not, and you're religious, and the religion tells you it's a sin, you're gonna force everyone to adhere to your sensibilities. Because otherwise, maybe you are tempted yourself. And that is why they are so gung-ho at banning anything that has to do with LGBT. Ron DeSantis, massive faggot. Massive. Absolute faggot. Like it'll come out one day. He'll have sucked a dick at Guantanamo Bay. Like, that was part of the torture. That's just gonna be his defense. We were torturing the Muslims. In the Muslim religion, it's believed that they are they can't have sexual intercourse with a man. A man can't have sexual intercourse with a man. They'll go to hell. It's not haram. So therefore, I had to suck his dick to make him tell me what he knew. Okay, that's gonna be the defense. Just wait and see.
If you're familiar enough with porn to make a joke about this obscure sub genre of pornography, then you know a lot about porn, which would seem to back up my thesis, which I
sub genre, please.
I said on the show is just a hunch. I don't know this guy, Chris. I haven't read any scientific study with a lab coat, but I strongly.
Oh, Knowles, are you using Nick Fuentes dog whistles now? Lab coats? Is that a dog whistle for something? Are you doing the JQ?
Suspect that if you start to have really bizarre sexual ideas and desires, it might have something to do with the ubiquity of bizarre, extremely high-tech pornography that is warping.
High-tech pornography? High-tech pornography? Okay, I'm gonna have to. The highest tech pornography that I know of is the BDSM community. Like those people, and when I say those people, I'm including myself. But I'm not a high-tech person, okay? I don't go that far. But god damn it, high-tech pornography, lolly? Like, it's weird. I don't like lolly porn, but I know of it. I didn't need some YouTuber to tell me about it.
Warping people's minds.
High-tech pornography. Oh, and he's obviously reversed the causation here. It's the same with this is what I've studied at university, okay? And thank God I still have some use for it. As long as they're conservatives, I'm always going to have a use for it. Here's the thing. In the 70s, they studied kids who were delinquents. And they noticed a pattern among the kids. And the pattern was that a high percentage of kids went and saw movies at the cinema. And they jotted down, oh, that's interesting. Maybe we should ban theaters. Movie theaters are causing kids to become delinquents. They are becoming criminals because of the movies they watch at the theaters, not at home, mind you. The exact same movies, you can watch them at home. Nothing happens. So there's something magical about the theaters. And some people obviously realize that there must be something else here going on, guys. It can't be that movie theaters causes delinquency. There's no magic here. So they studied further. They did interviews with the kids. And they realized they spent a lot of times at the movies because they could sit in a room by themselves for a few hours watching a movie without their parents having a fight in the room next door, or in some cases, fighting them. So they used the theater as a socially accepted getaway. They were locked in. Nobody would just burst into the room and start fighting with them. I don't think that was the recent CPAC event. Like, he's been a thing for a few years by now. But it's not that long. Like, it's 3-4 years maybe just. But it's not the latest CPAC, because the latest CPAC nobody cared about. Absolutely nobody. But yeah, so they realized, oh, the kids who go to the movies have a broken home. And that's why they become delinquent. The same with porn. People assume, if you ask them on the street, they'll assume that watching porn makes you more sexually violent. It's not true. Of course it's not. Do you know why people watch porn? Because they're sexually frustrated and they need to jerk off. And the act of jerking off makes you not want to have sex anymore. Problem solved. Violent video games, violent movies in general, violent music. They've gone off after all of these, every fucking one. And I called out Anita Sarkeesian back in 14 to 16 for doing the exact same thing. The games in and of themselves do not cause the harm we see in society. If anything, it's the opposite. You don't become violent from watching a violent movie. That doesn't spur the interest of causing violence. You watch a violent movie Because you have an interest in violence. And for most people, that interest is satiated by watching the movie. But if you remove the movie, you can't get that satiation without doing violence. So we can see violence. Let's see, a violent crimes rate graph. Is this enough? That's not. Can I get a longer? Okay. So they're this is interesting. They're attributing this 1960s, 1980s, something happened here. 1990s, when did Doom come out? Let's see. Doom release date 1993. Is that 1993? Could be 1993. I'm not attributing everything to Doom, of course, naturally. My point is, Doom is a marker where after that you can see, because violence in media became more and more and more, and Doom was like the tip of the culmination there. And it's always been when it came out, the new one in 2016, I think, and Anita Sarkeesian lost her fucking shit. Oh my God, this is gonna turn people violent. No. There is actually evidence that you don't become more violent just because there's violent video games. We've never lived in an era where there's more violent media to consume than now. And we've never lived in an era where it's safer. Period. So this correlation is wrong. Knowles.
People write into this show even sometimes. They'll say, I got hooked on porn. Bizarre, extremely high-tech pornography that is warping people's minds, and that people write into this show even sometimes. They'll say, I got hooked on porn at age 10 and it's been a struggle for my whole life.
Age 10? Now that's the issue. Kids shouldn't be watching porn, period. Like that's, like, you can search for it, you can see something, it shouldn't be watching it. You know, but that's a parental issue. That's a parental issue. There's nothing wrong with teens, I would say, watching porn. People have a right to explore their own sexuality at their own pace. Period.
Maybe that's something that politicians should do something about.
Wait. That's interesting. Knowles. Oh. Listen to this.
Maybe that's something that porn
we need to
age minds, and that people write into this show even sometimes. They'll say, I got hooked on porn at age 10 and it's been a struggle for my whole life. Maybe that's something that politicians should do something about. Speaking of...
do something about what? 10-year-olds watching porn? Do what exactly? Ban porn? Is that what he's suggesting? Ban all porn? Hey, good luck with that, brother. Now that's not going to happen ever. I'm going to have to quote a good role model for me, Dr. Cox from Scrubs. If they ever remove porn, there's going to be one website left on the entire internet. And it's going to be bringbackporn.com. Ban porn. Good luck. Good fucking luck.
The justice system. Speaking of transgender identifying people, there is a dude who thinks that he's a chick, who attacked a Catholic church. He was finally arrested for this. This guy destroyed religious property. This is a crime that holds a maximum prison sentence of 1 year, up to a $100,000 fine, up to 5 years probation, supervised release following prison. So this is pretty serious. And the Biden DOJ just recommended no jail time. Of course it did. The Biden DOJ.
Trans person attack Catholic. Oh. Christian Broadcasting Network, of course. National Reviewer. I want to see Catholic News, Washington Stand. Fox News, sure, why not? Or Guardian, we'll see. Outside of Sydney, President Biden's Justice Department offered what critics are calling a sweetheart plea deal to a vandal who admitted to defacing a Catholic church with profane graffiti, destroying a statue of the Virgin Mary, assaulting a church worker, and resisting arrest. A plea agreement reviewed by Fox News Digital shows that the DOJ recommends 0 jail time for the perp. Maybe Noda? I'll catch you later, Blaze. See you next time. A 31-year-old transgender individual who vandalized the St. Louis Catholic Church in Bellevue, Washington, following Roe v. Wade overturning last June. Noda sharply contrasts with the Biden administration's earlier approach to throwing the book at pro-life protesters outside abortion clinics. It is very clear that the Biden Justice Department has politicized and weaponized the FACE Act to go after pro-life Christians praying outside of abortion clinics like Mark Hoke, while turning a blind eye to violent felons terrorizing and badly damaging Catholic churches like Maviab Noda. Mike Davis, founder of Article 3 Project, told Fox News Digital. But what is the actual plea deal? Put Hoke in prison for... The Biden Department put Hoke in prison for 11 years. What did Hoke do? Mark Hoke. What did you do? Acquitted pro-life activist Mark Hoke. But he was found not guilty. What? Then 47-year-old Hoke forcefully shoved BL to the ground, and then in second altercation the same day, verbally confronted BL and forcefully shoved BL to the ground a second time, twice. Hoke did this because BL was a volunteer escort at the reproductive health care clinic, the indictment said, and second assault caused injury to BL that required medical attention. Assault is always a serious offense. Yeah. If the victim is targeted because of their association with a reproductive health care clinic, it is a federal crime, U.S. Attorney Jacqueline Romero said in the statement. Okay? So, he assaulted her. Well, let's... obviously, Fox News is lying about Mark Hoke, or is at least trying to make it seem differently than it actually is. Yahoo. Admitted to vandalizing the church last summer, smashing 2 glass doors and spray painting a number of profane messages, including fuck Catholics, rot in your fake hell, kid groomers, and woman haters. Noda also admitted to destroying a statue of Virgin Mary, assaulting a church worker, and resisting arrest. Okay, they admitted to assaulting the church worker. Did Hoke do that? Maybe not. maybe that's why they were lenient on her. With misdemeanor destruction of religious property, which carries up to 1 year in prison and $100,000 in fine. However, Reclaimed Justice Brown recommended no jail time and 3 years of probation for Noda sentencing on June 2nd, Fox News reported. Attacks on Catholic churches have increased. 3 years probation. That's not nothing. And Hoka wasn't attacked. But okay, so what did you say here?
1 year, up to a $100,000 fine, up to 5 years probation, supervised release following prison. So this is pretty serious. And the Biden DOJ just recommended no jail time. Of course it did. The Biden DOJ, Biden FBI, which sends agents in to spy on Catholics who go to Mass on Sunday. The Biden DOJ and FBI, which then tried to deny that they were spying on churches and viewed Catholics as potential domestic terrorists. We then found out this was a real program. It wasn't just a one-off memo.
So I'm guessing Knowles have no issues with Muslims being targeted, with BLM being targeted by the DOJ or the FBI and infiltrated, and the FBI starting raids within BLM, using BLM as cover, just so that they can attack the protesters. I'm guessing Knowles have no fucking issue with that.
That nobody knew about. This was a program by the FBI. There were agents assigned to cultivate sources, to try to flip priests, to violate the inviolable seal of the confessional potentially, and to rat to the federal government on
FBI targets Catholic Church. Give me a second. Sorry, just got a call. FBI used undercover agents to target Catholic Church, Jim Jordan. But that's Newsweek. I want to see, why were they targeting the Catholic Church? Just said information provided to the committee previously regarding the 20th, so the show that FBI had relied on at least one undercover agents to produce its analysis, and that the Bureau proposed that its agents engage in outreach to Catholic parishes to develop sources among the clergy and church leadership to inform on Americans practicing their faith. But I mean, this is standard if you look at Muslims. So why did they do this? The GOP leader, according to heavily redacted records reviewed by the CBS, the FBI report was initially approved by multiple FBI supervisors, including a top lawyer at the Richmond field office. The report cited information gathered by the FBI UCE, which is an acronym for Undercover Employee. In another section labeled Opportunities, the report advised using requests for collection to leverage existing sources and or initiate type 5 assessments to develop new sources. So they're not going to tell us why they targeted the church? Okay.
On their flock. And then a member of the protected religion, the protected cult of transgenderism, goes and attacks the persecuted religion,
That's not a
Christianity, and
religion.
specifically Catholicism, and he gets off scot-free. This is how it works. This is how I don't need to tell you that. You're well aware of that. But the liberal regime, the elites in power with the bow ties, they don't wear bow ties, with the long neckties and the very fancy jackets, and they've got the really fancy offices in Washington, D.C. They're not going to go out and commit street crime.
Of course
But street crime is important for them to maintain their political dominance. And so
projection, Michael Knowles. Have you heard about projection? Have you heard about it? You're projecting so fucking hard. Nobody in the Democratic Party is having direct influence or direct ties to any organizing. And I say Democratic Party, I mean the leadership. There are, of course, people within the Democratic Party who have ties to these, who speak to the podcast community or the YouTube community or the event organizers in general, but they are not in leadership. You're not going to find Nancy Pelosi talking to a podcaster. You will find Trump talking to Alex Jones. You will find Trump talking directly to his supporters. That is the biggest difference. You are projecting so fucking hard right now, Michael. So fucking hard.
So what they do is they just encourage all sorts of miscreants to commit the street crime for them, and then they let them off the hook. And then they bail them out of jail. And then when BLM is marauding all over the country for 8 months, Kamala Harris raises money to bail the criminal BLM activists out of prison. Joe Biden's staffers raise money to bail BLM out of prison. So what does that do? That creates an incentive for more of the street crime, which intimidates conservatives and Christians and normal people who are now going to think twice before speaking out because they don't want their church destroyed. They don't want their pro-life pregnancy center destroyed. They don't want their homes destroyed.
We're going to have to go to Texas governor. I don't remember his name. Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott, BLM shooter. He wants to pardon a man who murdered a BLM protester. Michael Knowles, you're projecting so fucking hard right now. BLM marauding across U.S. Marauding. Listen to the language. It's such, it's so emotional. Like it's emotionally weighted language. Marauding.
Destroyed. They don't want to be attacked in public by people who will have impunity to do it.
Impunity. Impunity.
Corruption in the administration.
Impunity. This guy has impunity to do it. This guy. Not BLM. This guy. What they paid for was a bailout. They're not free from their actions. They're free to keep on living until the day that they are sentenced. This guy, however, is free from his actions.
The Pentagon Inspector General has found that corruption in Ukraine funding and arming is very, very high risk.
Wait, who did?
Arming. Inspector General is in the administration. The Pentagon Inspector General.
Pentagon Inspector General
has found that corruption in Ukraine funding and arming is very, very high risk. The Defense Department
Business Watchdog has abandoned efforts to do in-depth audits of defense contracts, leaving billions of dollars in taxpayer money at risk because of overpayments and fraud, according to an investigation report due to be made public on Thursday. The report, written by Republican Senator Chuck Grassley staff and obtained by Reuters, concludes that the Defense Department Office of Inspector General has focused instead on less important types of audits, and that its productivity has plunged in recent years. It said that Inspector General's office in fiscal 2009, which ended September 30th, 2009, did not audit any major or non-major weapons contract or contractor. That sounds like American companies not being audited. The report contends that, too, that the Inspector General's office has failed to follow up even when it finds evidence of serious misdeeds. But this is from... Okay, this is a 13-year-old article. Sorry about that. And this is 2023. In February. May file a complaint with the Treasury. Okay. No, okay, that's deluge of money for Ukraine puts Pentagon's top cops on high alert. What was it? Inspector General. The Defense Criminal Investigation Services Ukraine focus is on the Pentagon's many speedy contracting actions and on the potential black market diversion of U.S. aid, said James Ives, Principal Deputy Director of DCIS, which falls under the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General. No contracting fraud has become public so far. So it's just a risk assessment. What did you say?
By people who will have impunity to do it. Speaking of corruption in the administration, the Pentagon Inspector General has found that corruption in Ukraine funding and arming is very, very high risk. The Defense Department recognizes Ukraine's history of corruption and considers the possibility of aid being deflected before it reaches its intended target to be a high risk.
A high risk, but nothing is proven. And I don't know what this has to do with Mr. Beast's friend.
Another official at the Pentagon is concerned about weapon systems that we're sending over there and the theft of those weapon systems. They say, this is according to an official being reported by Defense One, DoD procedures, the most advanced...
This has nothing to do with Mr. Beast's friend. Never even thought Michael knows lollies. Problem with Chris doing this is Mr. Beast has a huge, young, and easily impressionable viewer base. Young kids are seeing this, and it's becoming normal to them. And it's obviously going to lead to many of those kids wanting to transition themselves. Kind of sad how people wanting to protect their children from this ideology makes people transphobes. You want to remove trans people from media. That is transphobic. If it were black people, and you say, oh, we can't have black people in media, that's going to influence the kids to be more open to interracial marriage, so we have to ban black people from the screen. Would you not call that racist? I'd call that fucking racist. But okay, Michael Knowles is just going to talk about, let's skip in the video and see if he resumes the actual topic.
Prevented the war easily. And if it's just a minor incursion, we won't do anything about it, that's fine. Further encourages Russia to invade. And
Wait.
Putin did not further invade. In my position, it feels like...
Wait. You know what? We can do 2 videos on this.
The Pentagon, the Defense Department record official at the Pentagon is concerned about weapon systems that we're sending over there and the theft of those weapon systems. They say, this is according to an official, hands on weapons technology, etc., which raises the question that I've been asking since day one on all of this Ukraine stuff. Namely, what are we funding? What's the goal here? Because from my position, it feels like our sclerotic leaders are sleepwalking us into...
Sclerotic? Grown rigid or unresponsive, especially with age. Unable or reluctant to adapt or compromise. That's that's the word you're gonna use. Sclerotic. Okay. Why not peace with Hitler? A U.S. protest. Hitler has not attacked us. Why attack Hitler? Arm Britain and prolong the war. Why not peace with Hitler? Europe for Europe, Europeans, America for Americans. How buy football players, not battleships. Strike against war, Thursday, April 20th. I will not support my government in any war which it may undertake. Economic sanctions lead to war. Like, do we recognize these? Does it sound familiar?
Into World War III. Like our sclerotic leaders are sleepwalking us into World War III. What's the end goal here? We could have prevented the war.
No.
Easily. Donald Trump did prevent the war. Donald Trump is the president on whose watch, uniquely among recent presidents, Vladimir Putin did not further invade any foreign nations. But Biden comes into power. He could have prevented the invasion, probably. He could have done that by maintaining sanctions on Russia, even according to the Ukraine president, Vladimir Zelensky.
Wait.
But Biden comes into power. He could have prevented the invasion, probably. He could have done that by maintaining sanctions on Russia, even according to the Ukraine president, Vladimir Zelensky. Biden lifting those sanctions impelled Russia to invade. Then what happened?
So should we have sanctions on Russia or not? Should we further antagonize Russia or not? What the U.S. did, I can defend lifting the sanctions on Russia when Biden came in, because I wouldn't do it myself as long as Russia maintained at least the Donbas region, Donbas-Luhansk region. As long as they maintain a presence there, I would maintain the sanctions. But I can understand wanting to, be friendly with Russia. I can understand that. I cannot understand wanting to be friendly with Russia while they are marching and attacking the entire fucking country.
Then Biden said, if it's just a minor incursion, we won't do anything about it, that's fine. Further encourages Russia to invade. Then the United States funds the war, says we're going to fund the war into perpetuity. So now the war continues.
I'm just going to have to. Biden lifts Russia sanctions. Because Germany wanted the gas. The Nord Stream 2. Yes.
Continues to escalate. You've got now explicit threats of nuclear war. Russia's saying it's not even a Cold War anymore. Russia's saying we are directly in a hot conflict with the United States. And And then you look
yeah, because Russia would equally see this what's happening in Ukraine, where America is providing weapons, as if the U.S. actively fought in Ukraine. It's the same thing. It is one and the same.
look over there at China and you see China beginning to aggress on Taiwan in the South China Sea. It just feels like we're slow walking into World War III. So what are we doing here? We're funding Ukraine to the tune of billions and billions of dollars, over $100 billion. What do we want? Do we want Ukraine in NATO? I don't.
Why not?
Is that the plan? Do we want Ukraine in the European Union?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a great idea either, but okay,
Why not?
let's figure out what
Why not?
the plan is.
Tell me.
Do we want to invade Russia? Do we want war with Russia? What's happening here? Do we want a buffer state in Ukraine, which I think would have been smarter? What are we funding?
A buffer state means they are always going to be under the thumb of Russia.
We're just funding more and more corruption with no end in sight. Producer Colton has brought me my iPad, so I get to chat with you in the Membroom segmentum, which begins now. Head on over to dailywire.com/Knowles.
I get to?
We'll need your help to ascertain which of the headlines are fake, which of them are real. dailywire.com/Knowles. Use code Knowles. You'll get 2 months free on all.
Yeah. So that was a schizo segment, to say the least. I have no idea why he went off on Ukraine all of a sudden. Just random. I'm probably gonna cut that part short. But yeah, he has no idea, because right-wingers are not interested in science at all. Right-wingers are interested in bloviating and declaring things on an emotional level. They are driven by their emotions, not by scientific inquiry. And that's why he'll make statements like trans people are hypnotized by porn. Not trans porn, by the way. Porn addiction from the age of 10. That's why people are trans. Something payment. I recently stumbled upon this channel, Average Intelligence. I'm gonna see. I hope I am not putting the foot in my mouth. Okay. Channel. Go to my channel, your channel. There we go. I would be putting my foot in my mouth. Glad thing I didn't say that. But there is something to the fact that you have 678 videos to 546 subscribers. Now, I'll admit there's something to me having 98 videos to 94 subscribers. But the thing is not as much as theirs. I average 1 subscriber per video. I don't like averaging 1 subscriber per video. I want to average lots more. That's my goal, though. But oh my God, look at these. When was the last time you had a good video, my friends? Oh my God. I would stop. Okay. Oof. Like I am not an infallible. I am throwing stones in a glass house here. Don't get me wrong, I am. But the glass in my house is a lot thicker than this. Oh boy. So you want to start a podcast. You have 546 subscribers. Why are you talking about wanting to start a podcast? You know nothing of that. At least become successful first, please. I want to see though, because they did I saw a short of theirs where their shorts are doing better, but I mean, this is still, for short videos, this is not good at all. Let me just... Can I show myself my own shorts? Sorry about that. Like, short videos regularly come over 1K, but they're so it's so easy. They're served so frequently though. They can see 16, 133, 800, 47, and 15. Again, I'm throwing glass in a stone. Throwing glass in a stone house. I'm throwing stones in a glass house here. I'm not denying any of that. I'm just saying these are not impressive numbers. I get those numbers. Not really these numbers. 3.6 is. I think my best had. Did I have 5K there? I don't think so, but yeah. They have 5 times my subscribers also. But they seem to have the same amount of viewerships. Which tells you something. This is not what I wanted to do though. Where is it? Oh, Biden flip-flops. Why don't we take a look at this? This is not the video I saw of them, but let's see what they say.
It is a true statement. There's a lot of Americans out there that at least have questions.
Oh, sorry.
It is a true statement. There's a lot of Americans out there that at least have questions about Ukraine, and I know Biden has changed tune on a couple of things, which Trump did too. But there were certain types of weapons that we were flat out not going to send to Ukraine, and now we are sending them to Ukraine after Biden said we weren't going to send them to Ukraine, which I get it. People are allowed to change their minds. That's fine. But what I get sick and tired of seeing is one side getting called out when they change their mind and the other one being like, well, you know, it's okay and enlightened for people to change their minds. It either is or it isn't, folks.
So you can see he has a Let's Go Brandon shirt. It depends on the reason for you changing your mind and to what position you change your mind to. So, for example, the reasoning behind, I don't know this, but I can imagine the reasoning why I myself maybe wouldn't send Ukraine the best of the best in the beginning of the war would be because I don't think they're gonna survive that long. So I don't want to give Russians the best of the best weapons, like the what are they called? Sweden sending not tank. What's it called? Weapons system. Let's just go there. These ones. Archer. Sending Archer. Now these are... Oh boy. Can I get fuck off. It's okay. Okay. Swedish Archer. Just give me a short video. So the reason why you wouldn't send these systems in the beginning is because You don't want them to end up in Russia's hands. You don't want Russians, A, to replicate them probably, but also B, just have them in general. So that's one reason why you flip-flop on what systems you're willing to send to a country, because you don't want a repeat of Afghanistan, you know? That would be bad. And that is what people assumed in the beginning. So then a year in, and you see, you know what, they're doing quite well with what they were giving. You go, maybe I'll send them the Archer, actually. Let's do 5 Archers to begin with, and we'll take it from there. Because these guys...
With the Swedish Steen, it's considered...
The gun to stay, especially. And then a high mobility takes us only success.
Okay, they're actually doing it.
Lower air, especially.
You can see here it lowers it. It's actually in and out in a minute.
Lower readiness, and then a high mobility enables us to, when we get the fire mission, we can go into action. It takes us only 25 seconds. Then we can fire 4 or 6 rounds or whatever the fire mission says.
Whew.
And then the redeploy takes us another 25 seconds, and then be on the way to another firing position at least 500, 700 meters away. All that in total takes us about 2.5 minutes.
Other artillery methods demand that you are a bunch of people hauling around with the different parts of the cannon and the actual artillery pieces. This one demands one person. Usually there are 3 people, as I understand it, but one person can maneuver and operate it completely independently. It is a fucking game changer. And when you notice 4 artillery pieces dropping on your camp, it is too late. The dude's already gone. You can track where it came from. You can calculate that, but it's already gone. It's not there anymore. It's over. It is actually over for them. So, you don't want that in the arms of Russia, and that's why you flip-flop. Now, I'm sure there are, but they are few and far between, and they are morons if they do this. I don't think anyone is mad at a right-winger who flip-flops, changes opinion for the better. You're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear a leftist be mad that a right-winger all of a sudden supports Medicare for all. That's not going to happen. Oh, how dare you support my position? No, of course not. Don't be stupid. We get mad at them. We get mad at people when they stop supporting the good positions. Good things good, bad things bad. Period. What is this? Flip-flopping is only acceptable when it's from left people. This is a moronic statement. Absolutely moronic statement. Let's see what else they have to say.
But one of the things the Biden administration will not tout is the fact that they have filled in border gaps from the Trump border wall project.
Yeah, fucking idiotic, stupid. Don't do that.
Allocating more money and resources to closing gaps in the southern border.
Which, if you would have just finished it when you should have,
Well, they effectively are finishing it, at least in certain portions. I think if there is kind of a recurring theme in the Biden administration, it's hypocrisy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but one of the things...
Unlike any other administration, No, there's no administration that isn't hypocritical. Like it doesn't happen.
You named 10 books.
She had like right over her breast, it said porn star. So like I think whatever chastising and like verbal abuse that she
Whatever.
They're so unreliable with history, so I don't trust them.
Fuck yeah. I mean, when they told me to believe in aliens is when I stopped.
They're so unreliable
What?
with history, so I don't trust them.
Fuck yeah. I mean, if you want to look at it, we're all technically slaves, you know, even here in America, because, I mean, you never truly own your home. They can take it away at any time because of taxes if you don't pay your property taxes.
That doesn't make you a slave.
Well, sure it does, because you have to go to work in order to pay for it.
But you have to consider the context of the conversation we're having.
Is interestingly enough, Marx talked about wage slaves. You're forced to work, and that is a form of slavery. You are correct. But I don't think you want to be correct on this one. I don't think you want Marx to be correct. I don't think you want to agree with Marx here, do you?
So, like, yes, historically there were slaves of every color, ethnicity. Like, somewhere in the world, some group.
Everybody's been a slave at one point.
Yeah, in
We'll just say
every
that.
area of the world, slavery is part of the human. Yes, you're right. The context in which the conversation is usually taking place is historically the relationship between the United States and the transatlantic slave trade, which was black people from Africa. And they say things like, "Well, you know, the Irish are slaves too." No, not here.
Yes. Yeah. What? Wait.
Church servitude.
Yeah, there's.
No. They were slaves. They were, however, given the white pass, because when they were integrated into society, you couldn't tell the difference. If they wanted to, they could hide. They could hide their Irishness. You could never hide your skin color, could you? And that is why Irish people today are not oppressed, while black people still are.
There's a difference.
I mean, if you want to look at it, we're all technically slaves, you know, even here.
Okay. Yeah, they're just your regular standard moronic right-wing podcast. But they have a good name for it, I guess. Average Intelligence Podcast. Yeah, I can I can see that.
I do not like balls.
Now, I told myself, I actually told you guys even, but I specifically told myself that I would do more streams, but shorter streams. And we've just come to that point where this is a short stream. 2 hours, that's perfectly fine with me. I've done one good segment that I'm proud of. Maybe not proud of, perhaps, but good enough to post. I want to post that. And I'm going to go live tomorrow to compensate for a short stream. So I'm going to do more streams, but shorter ones instead. I think that's good. I don't want to push myself when I don't feel like I have something to necessarily add. It's just going to be bad in the end. So I'm going to end it here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow instead. Okay, bye-bye, and take care. I love you all.